And here we go. Hello and welcome to the Master Mind, Body, and Spirit Show. I'm your host, Matt Belair. Today's guest is a master of the ancient science of Vedic Palmistry. She decided to become a palmist after meeting Ghan-sham Singh Birla in 1985. She was so impressed with the power of Vedic palmistry to identify behavioral patterns, problems, and potential in herself, and so inspired by Ghan-sham's deep commitment to help others that she dedicated herself to Vedic studies. Since joining the Birla Center, she has helped thousands of people through her consultations, counseling, and teaching. She has touched the lives of thousands of others through her many appearances on television, radio, magazines, and newspapers, and her popular lectures and workshops. She also authored her autobiography, The Happy Palmist, My Joyful Adventure in Vedic Palmistry. Most recently, she teamed up with Ghan-sham to create an online self-help series, the 90-Day Challenge programs that draw on Vedic wisdom, Eastern philosophy, yogic exercises, and the science of astro palmistry. Welcome to the show, Guylaine Vallée.
Hello. Thank you very, very much, Matt. To be with you, I'm so blessed and happy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm super happy to have you on. I had a really great time looking up you and your work, and you have such an enthusiasm and a joy, and we got to spend about 30 minutes before the show, and I got to send you my poems, and you got to do a reading, and I got to know you a little bit more. But you also sent me the 90-Day Heartline Challenge, and that's just one of your 3 90-day challenges, and it's very in-depth. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of exercises. It's very practical. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finish it, but I was able to go through and look at how much work is in there. So I'm so happy to have you on the show. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, how you got into what you're doing and what you're working on now?
Okay. Well, it's interesting because I just realized that when I met Ghan-sham, I met him in 84. I started to join him in 85. You got born in 85. So I guess it's a good year. 84, you got born. So that was a good year. And well, it's so interesting because I was in film before. I studied in communication at Cégep. Then I worked in different places. Then I found my dream job in Paris for a year and a half. And I thought, all of that will make me happy, at least. But oh no, I brought my misery with me in my suitcase everywhere, even in that beautiful city of light, So when I came back, I went, wow, if Paris doesn't do it to me, what will do it to me? And then I came back to Montreal, and that's when I met Ghan-sham through a friend. And she just said, oh, this palmist, read your palm and he take your imprint. And oh, he's so accurate. So I just wanted to see him. And when I came, and the funny things, when they took my print, I didn't like them. I felt like, oh, my fingers were all over the place. And I don't know, I didn't see too much my lines. And then Ghan-sham did a consultation. And I have to tell you, I fall off my chair. I was so amazed that this person who doesn't know a thing about me knew everything, but knew also my misery or how I felt. But he told me a lot of things, a lot of weakness that I have. I think I have like 17 defects. I'm still working on some for sure. But he told me the most amazing truth, that the line changed. So I didn't need to stay the way I was. I could change. And for me, that I went, all right, now that's my pill, that's my medicine, that's what I want. I want to change because nothing outside is making me happy. So I better fix myself, because if I don't, it's not, I saw it. I saw Paris, I saw so many places, and I was still miserable. So by working on myself, and after 1 year, I started to see the change in my hand, and I went, oh my goodness, it does change. So after that, I took it a little more seriously, and I started to study. And I have to tell you, my language, my tongue language is French. And when I met Ghan-sham, I needed a translator because I didn't know one word in English. So I started to take courses with him in English. So I pay for courses I didn't understand really. And the first class was Heartline. And the only thing I remember is having big headache all the time. So I go, oh, well, at least I have a head. Whatever is coming in it, I don't know. But I was just fascinated. The little bit I could understand, I was like, all right, this makes sense. So, and guess what? My first consultation was done in Toronto. We did some show. And I read Palm over there, and I saw it started. And I just love it because it's a language, it's your hand, it's your story. And as many stage your life goes on, we can see it. We can see all the layers that we put on us. And the job, in a way, of a palmist, it's to try to stop the pendulum of that crazy karma. So, we do too much, or we don't do enough, or we get hurt, or we get too excited. So when we become more either neutral, or we understand why we behave the way we do, then it's like the big change start happening. So that's my story. And of course, I had the chance to have this wonderful writer who did my book, The Happy Palmist. It's quite an adventure. It's very fun. I mean, meeting Mother Teresa, or seeing so many hands of so many people, and even the hand of anyone who comes. For me, I'm blessed because I go, all these people, they have such a soul search. And even if sometimes they come by curiosity, they sit like that and they go, okay, what are you going to tell me now? And for a minute or two, you're not too comfortable, but then you forget, you dive into the hand, and they want to dive with you. So that's, for me, it's the beauty of palmistry. But the story where palmistry comes from, it's come from the Vedas, and astrology and palmistry are interconnected. And not too many people know that too. So they know astrology, everybody knows it. We know our sign, but palmistry at the same source, and it's coming from the Vedas. So when you know that they both are sister science, and in a way, the moon in the sky, you have the moon in your hand. You have the sun in the sky, but you got the sun in your hand. So as bright he is, do we feel like that? Do we have that same magnetism? So for me, that's what I love of the hand, because it's almost, you may not change your chart. This is the way it is. You have transit for sure. You have like a dasa that we call, but your hand will show now, what do you do with your potential? You're good or you're bad. And then we check both. We always work with both all the time, So it's quite a journey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, I got to watch one of your interviews, and I liked how when you were sharing, like, a lot of the Birla Center and what's happening over there is a lot of personal development. It's self-help. It's just awareness. And I see, I know that there are some people out there reading palms and it's nonsense. They're just making stuff up, and that exists. And it's unfortunate it exists in a lot of things. The same with tarot. But if you actually know what you're doing, it can be a gateway to understanding the individual. There actually is a rhyme and reason to this in astrology and all those different things. So it's almost like a very accurate a self-assessment or personality assessment. If you do Myers-Briggs or anything, it's just a little bit more detail. Usually you can dive deeper. And the same way, if you do tarot, like, some people do it really great, some people maybe not as well. But what I like the idea is to explore yourself. And then it's opening the door to go deeper. And if something may not resonate exactly, you can, that's okay. But you'll find that a lot of the times, if you get somebody who's really good, when I've done my astrology, I couldn't switch it with my sister. It wouldn't make any sense. I couldn't switch it with my dad. It wouldn't make any sense. And so there's definitely something there. And then it would talk about, usually when you get it done well, and when we did ours before, there's things that I say, hey, these are, not negatives, but things you can work on, and then you're aware of them, and then you can then that's the self-development. That's the next thing, is making sure that you're mastering your gifts and you're aware of those, and also the things that maybe you need work on, but it's the invitation to know yourself more, to explore yourself, your interaction with other people, and your interaction with the planet and the way you live your life. So do you want to talk a little bit about what I just ranted about, or just the Birla Center in general? Because you've created over the last little while 3 90-day challenges that are very in-depth. The Heartline Challenge, I love all the titles there. Open Your Heart to Love, Joy, and Happiness is awesome. The Headline Challenge, Thinking Your Way to Happiness. I don't know if that's possible, so I'd love to hear about that. And the Day Lifeline, Experience the Joy of Being Alive. So what I really loved about going through is you have to do tasks and actions, and there's things to do, because if you're not going to take any action, then personal development does not work. You have to actually apply what you've learned. So
well, you see, it's very interesting what you bring up, because Ghan-sham, the founder of the Birla Center, when he was young, I'll just give him a little bit of his background, and his grandfather was a healer with Ayurveda and also a palmist, but also as another job, but he loved palmistry. But the father of Ghan-sham was more in the military. So Ghan-sham became a teacher, went for, education and a bit of military system, but his love was for palmistry, because he got predicted that he will revolutionize palmistry. And at 12 years old, Ghan-sham did a huge speak in front of thousands of people on the free will, how you can change your destiny. I mean, many times he goes, I don't know if I got born for palmistry or palmistry got born for me. So Ghan-sham didn't want to just do prediction. In a way, it's easy, but why? Why saying to somebody, oh yeah, your boyfriend will come. Yeah, but can you keep him? Can you love him? Can you take care of him? Can you be good? Are you going to change with him? Or is he going to be one and one more and one more? So it's almost like in prediction, it's telling a person, wait, sit comfortable, and, don't work on yourself. So Ghan-sham didn't want to do that. Even when he teach us, he never teach us with the prediction aspect, but more with the prevention aspect, and that's what I love. So Ghan-sham, when he came here in Canada, that was his whole concept, to build the school that we have, that you can learn. But then the challenge came, because a lot of people we saw, like at one point, we had this marketing guy who came to help us to try to promote palmistry, and because people have this idea that palmistry is fortune telling, they don't see the depth of it. And so he goes, hey, how many people came to see you? And we were so pleased to tell him, oh, we have hundreds of thousands of imprint in our file. And we were proud, And he goes, okay, whippity-doo. Where are they today? What did you do for them? Because they come, for sure, we try to help them out. But then you give us this idea, then we thought, let's do the challenge. Because even if we say to someone, okay, you need to change your heart. Now, you go home, you got that in your mind, but how I'm going to do it? And environment is so important. Environment is stronger than our willpower. That's our will, by the way, on the top of our thumb. So environment is stronger than the will. So for sure, hey, you want to become vegetarian and your neighbor is making a barbecue. I mean, it smells so great. Or you want to stop, let's say, drinking, but your friend is having a beer and it's cold and it's sunny and it's fun. And so environment. Or you want to meditate, but everybody's dancing, putting music. So that's why we decided to do the challenge. We decided to become the environment for the person, that at least for 3 months, because it takes 3 months to change. when you take something, a new habit, it will take 3 months before it become your character, before it get part of you. So that's why we did those challenge of 90 days. And every week, like the person will receive a video, they will receive a PDF. Basically, they will receive like, they can print and they can have a big book like that, like you said, with all the information. And it is rich. It's wonderful. And this is my teacher, Kathleen, who do a lot of research with Joanne. And then we did the video with Peter. And then we have this wonderful writer, Steve Irwin, who did a book of Immaculée Elebegesia about the Rwanda. And so he helped us to write the book, Steve. So it's well done, it's fantastic, and it gives affirmation, but it gives story of people. And what they do, they take their own imprint at the beginning of the challenge and 3 months after. And if they want, of course, they can have consultation with us also to follow. But even with the book and every information, oh my, I have a girl and she tell me, oh, Guylaine, I wanted to go on a counseling with my husband because we don't talk and we're very different. So instead they came to see me and I said, you start the Heartline challenge, both of you now. So they listen to me. It's for their
not much of a choice.
Exactly. That's what he said. Because I knew they were going to become, apart. So I didn't want that. And they both did the challenge together. And she said, Guylaine was like magical. It will open a lot of doors. They will start talking. And he will go, you feel like that? Since when? And then you see her heartline and he goes, oh, wow, I guess you have a big heart. And then she'll see him too. And she'll go, yeah, hey, look. And you got some island. What do you feel? You keep everything inside. So they understood each other more. And they're very cute today. More connected. So this is one story, but I can tell you, I don't have enough time to tell you all the story. I'm going with people, and I love that. That for me, that's my pay, that's my salary, that's my joy. When I see what it does on people, and it's so fun. So that's why we created this challenge, because your 3 major lines represent your subconscious. The way you love, heartline. The way you think, headline. The way you live your life, lifeline. Not how long you're going to live. Poor lifeline. She got a bad press. It's more, how do you feel good in your body? Do you love yourself? Do you love every part of your body? Or you're always complaining you have a bad eyes or a bad this or a bad that? Well, your lifeline will show it. You will not have the energy. So these 3 lines represent how we're going to live our life in many ways. So that's why we decided to go on that level. And whoa, oh yeah, people, they say like you, they're amazed when they do the challenge, how it helped them. I had also 3 ladies, 3 sisters, and they come from an abused family and difficult, and they did the challenge of the heart. And I know in one section they talk about forgiveness, and that was hard. So they meet, they open a bottle of champagne and the Kleenex box, they cry, but then they realize they didn't perceive their dad and mom the same way, or about the abuse the same way, and they learn from that a lot. And they really learn to forgive, because, hey, it's our life, it's our heart. And they wanted to feel better. So it touched so many aspects of life. It's amazing. Yes, you can ask me a question.
Yeah, that's what I really like about it is, again, it's inviting the self-inquiry and to do the work and to explore. And so what I wanted to ask is, can you talk about the origins briefly about the origins of like Vedic, this philosophy, like palmism, palmistry and astrology? Because I know astrology goes back, but I didn't know that they were linked together. And then the other thing I wanted to ask as a practical piece is, I love how it's one line for the mind, how you think, one line for the heart, how you're feeling and interacting in relationships, and then the last one for the life. And you must have to dispel a lot of myths, right? And again, I'm not a fan for somebody, although I love psychics and I've done a lot of research and on that thing, and I think they can be useful, and I also think they can be harmful when you're going to find an answer. I don't think it's about finding an answer. I think it's about uncovering information for you to explore yourself and your interaction in the world, like a pathway, you know what I mean, an inspiration to dive deeper. And so with those three areas, which I think are important, maybe you can share one of the processes to help people get into coherence or start to because one of the modules in here I really liked was the heart-mind connection, seeking coherence. And so I'm wondering if you could just give one maybe practical application for somebody listening where they can begin to explore a little bit.
Totally. This is one of my greatest chapter 3 or week number 3 in the challenge. Yes. So into the beginning of palmistry, the roots, it comes from the Vedas, same as astrology, yoga, Ayurveda. They came like this is 5,000 years ago. And the Vedas created all the limb and all these science. And then astrology is called Jyotish. Astrology is the light. And palmistry comes from Jyotish, meaning the hand and the light. And palmistry also comes from the Samudrik Shastra. It's an ocean of knowledge. But the difference also with palmistry, it's related to the whole body. So when we see the hand, we also see the morphology of someone. So is the person maybe more Luna or more Saturn? Because we're going to see on the morphology. It's so fun when I'm with Ghan-sham and let's say we see on the news, let's say somebody who did something pretty bad, a criminal, let's say. And I will go, hey, Ghan-sham, from his face, do you think he's a criminal? And he will go, oh yeah, look at his ears, or look at this, or look at that. So our whole morphology it shows, and it's in the hand. It's so fun. So again, palmistry and astrology, they link together. They are sister. My big dream, because I work with both, my big dream, I would love that every astrologer, please hear me now, take our course or use Heartline, Headline, and Lifeline. Use those 3 lines to incorporate even all their knowledge. And oh my goodness, because for me, they work together. It's like the left and right hand. Both are useful. But, so very neat. So that's the root of palmistry, where it's coming from. And, but it's not been known as astrology is or yoga is, but we're getting there. And you're helping us tonight. Thank you very, very much. Not to give a difference to people, because that's what people like. I mean, I'm in the field for 34 years, and people will go, but I didn't know you. I didn't know about palmistry like this. So it's so, for me, it's profound. It's deep. It's a great tool. It's true. It's transparent. And again, it's like Ghan-sham, just a little example. Like he met maybe 50 years ago, this guy from Toronto, and he came with his bunch of friends. And Ghan-sham, just by looking at his hand, and he saw his talent, and the guy was studying in law, and he said, I think you're more like an artist, and you can be singing in front of thousands of people. I see that potential in your hand. And the guy after just went to the park with a beer, and he said, this guy's crazy. I'm studying law. I'm not even good with my guitar. And well, guess what? That became Greg Keller of Blue Rodeo. And he come and see us off, and he just came not long ago for a checkup. He checked his hand, Ghan-sham, I'm not doing still good. So it's just fun. And this is not, again, prediction. It's the potential that the person have. And when you unleash, that's what I love of palmistry, you unleash your real self, your potential. And it's like a sculpture, you know, like Michelangelo, when you receive a marble piece. And you know what he said? He said, David, where are you? And he started to peel the piece. So in a way, that's what we do. When we look at a hand, we go, oh, hey, beautiful hand. And how come? So you want to see all the good sign in it. And how come they're not there? Like I remember this little girl, one time she came, and she's like in her early 20s. And of course, the big question is, well, you think I'm going to meet somebody, and where is he, and how? And she had like maybe 20 line of union, one on the top of each other, too many. Now, I cannot tell her she's going to have 20. Bad news, I cannot tell her that. Poor girl. But for me, I want to understand why she have 20 lines at 20 years old. What's wrong? How come? Because she's like, she looked pretty sincere. She looked like she want to have a deep commitment. So either it's her fear, either it's her cautiousness, either she don't believe. What is in her that she don't think she can have one solid relationship? And then you start working on that, because you know the person want a good relationship, not 20. Oh boy, it's going to cost a lot of money to the lawyer. He's going to have a fun time with her. So for me, when you spend time on you and you spend that energy, oh God, you get saved from karma, from trouble, from so many difficulties. Like one girl, I just did the challenge last year of the heart, and she lived in Paris. It's funny, I'm having a lot of European people coming, but from all over. And again, technology, thank God, so we can do on Zoom. And I do also like coaching, like personalized program. And I did it with her because she just found out she was pregnant and her boyfriend just left her. And she's 39 years old. She always wanted a kid. And now she's not sure if she will keep the baby. And so we talk and talk and talk. And of course, and we see her hand and her heartline. But her heartline have a really big doubt in her. And we work on that. And she decided, because she wanted the baby, she decided, I'm going to keep it. It's going to be my responsibility. And a couple of months after, the old boyfriend came back and said, can I come back? I want to be the dad and I want to be with you. So, so magnetism, things work, things change. So, and they're, knock on wood, they're still together. And hey, and we told them what they have to work out, because it's never just pink and beautiful every day. But at least they're aware, they know. So let's say on a practical level, like you were asking me, right? So first line is heart, that one on the top. Now, and then the headline. And these two lines are so important because they are the coherence, and they will be there all our life. All our life journey is going in that. The space between, we call it the quadrangle. It's our spine. It's where the electricity, all the chakra working. And when the space is good, we are receptive to be helped, or to friend, or to advice. And it's a certain peace between the heart and the head. And we need that, so that they don't always connect. But sometimes you will see that a part of the heart go down to the head at whatever age. But when you have a line going down, it means you doubt, you question, you're not sure, you analyze, and you want also to have a certain verification, validation of what you do. So the poor heart cannot just embrace or love. He's always checking. Oh, my boyfriend is late. Okay, what's that mean? Oops, he didn't say love me today. What's that mean? Oops, he looked in his own world. What's that mean? So if your heart had that tendency, please try to not think or doubt or question or analyze, because nobody will understand. In a way, you don't leave the room to be loved or to accept. So it need a real effort on a daily practice. That's what I love of those challenge. You have to check yourself every day. You're never off the brain or your heart. You can't. They live in us. So let's be friends with them. But so it's almost like you're always watching yourself. So if your heartline have a branch down, watch. That's not good. Now, another thing, if let's say my heartline is broken, it could happen. So maybe a big shock. As soon as a line break, it's a big shock that could have been there, being very hurt or disappointed. But then because of that break, I may do some compromise in life because I don't really believe that life is so nice or so good. So I have to find my joy again, my enthusiasm, my hope, because somehow I'm losing hope. It's almost like a broken car. I don't have too much energy left. So, but again, what I love of the heartline, that's represent our soul. And the soul always have energy. It's just that the mind is telling, I don't like that or that I love, you know. The heart is just beating. He get excited or afraid. He doesn't know why. So the heart is a big muscle that we need to stretch and accept. Oh boy, and digest so many things, so many people. And it's a journey, it's not so easy. So to have the coherence between the heart and the head, it's a journey of a lifetime. And that's why I love meditation. And you know, one good, and I know we mentioned that in our challenge, but one good emotion to balance them both is to have gratitude. Because gratitude is where the mind has to remember what I'm supposed to be gratitude about what, and the heart has to have the feeling, oh yeah, well, hey, that person did that for me. And they say, like, if you write 2 minutes every night, because it takes time for the brain to absorb, little 2 minutes, and then you write gratitude, after 30 days or 90 days, you'll see your head and heart will be more balanced. And if you don't know what they look like, well, by doing the challenge, and it's fun because it's affordable, it's not so expensive that people, so whoever is a soul searching, or just to have your life balance, and balance with everybody. Like I have a kid, he's 15 years old, he's so mixed up. He doesn't know what he likes, he doesn't know if he likes school, he's so confused with all his brother and sister, but he's doing the challenge now. And he finds some comfort. It's almost like a bond on his heart, because then he realizes, oh, okay, I'm not so dumb, I'm not so stupid. He knows what's going on a little more. My big dream in Ghan-sham will be that this subject can be in school, or people can learn it. Hey, it's a language. You learn French, English, Italian. How about palmistry? And then you learn the language of your soul, of yourself. So that's, well, hey, we'll see. As the year go, you know, people get more into it and more involved in their search. Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Well, I like how you, when you talk about the lifeline, you said like that's your body and how you feel on a daily basis, like your energy and your enthusiasm and your joy. So can you talk about that a little bit, and what you maybe teach or share with people to have a little bit more energy and vitality? Basically, for me, I think that a lot of people out there are looking just to connect more with their heart, or their, some people say soul's mission, or their calling, or they want to have less stress and they want to have more joy. And when you uncover your limiting beliefs, the things that are kind of holding you back, whether they're mental, spiritual, or emotional, it allows you an opportunity to overcome them, to become aware with them, to make peace with them, to heal them, whatever you need to do. But first things first is realizing what's stopping you. And then the next thing is having tools or some sort of way to move through it or to heal it or overcome it or to shift it in some capacity. So I'm wondering if you can speak a little bit on the lifeline and some of the things you might share with your clients and the people you work with. I know the Birla Center works with quite an amount of people. And as you've touched on, it's more about the journey of personal development, spiritual growth. And the Vedas is a very deep, ancient text all about spirituality, growth, personal development, connection with nature and source. So what are your best tips on kind of that idea of connecting with yourself, more confidence, more connection to your path, and inspiration and joy? Because you obviously have a lot of enthusiasm, happiness, and joy, and it's infectious. So
well, it change yourself, because when you know about your hand and you love what you're doing, it's a big difference. But lifeline, it's so neat, because that line will represent, of course, your body energy. But what we need to realize is the lifeline is the vehicle or the car who transport the head and the heart. So if you have a good coherence between your heart and head, obviously the lifeline will be beautiful and round and strong, because that's mean your heart and head are in harmony. Simple. But if we have a juggle or some struggle between the head and heart, then we're going to see it in the lifeline also. But I remember one time, you will love, at one point you'll need to interview my teacher, Ghan-sham. Oh boy, he can talk for 90 minutes, easy. And all his research and everything. And Ghan-sham loved to give practical idea. But I remember one time in a consultation, one little girl was quite sick. And she said, oh, Ghan-sham, I want to be good. I want to feel better. I want to be healthy. He goes, yeah, but he said, you want to be healthy for what? Well, Ghan-sham, I just want to be healthy. No. He said, think about why you want to be healthy. So that's mean we need to have a goal. We need to have a good, strong line of destiny in our hand, because that line is kind of a straw, and it's going to take all the energy of the heart, the passion, the mind, and it's going to give a discipline to the body, because that body is like a donkey. He doesn't like the discipline. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to be away from the heart and head. He wants to be independent, do his own thing. That's why it's like, again, that's why I love those challenges, because it's really working on the discipline of the lifeline. Because that poor lifeline, in a way, not poor, I love them all, but lifelines start here and it's going all the way down. So it's following the gravity. So we like it or not, we're going to get older. We're going to change. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you see things you never saw 5 years ago. So when you try to just keep up with the body, it's going to the gravity. So that lifeline has to realize that the non-gravity, because all in our cell, it's so much energy there, because it transports again the head and the heart. So one aspect I will tell all the viewers today, do not keep your thumb like that closed in. Can you see? Don't keep it in, because it stops the flow of energy and it blocks you and it blocks the circulation. But on a psychological level, it makes the person very afraid, very withdrawn, and the energy is not going to go strong. So, and sometimes maybe we don't, but maybe we keep it closed. Maybe we play with our nail and the skin. Maybe we bite a little bit. So all of that shows the nervousness, the anxiety. And of course, these days the planets are crazy, especially for the month of June. So, hey, a lot of intensity is there. So we need to feel strong. And that body, we need it. So good night's sleep for sure, meditation, good food, all of that. But also to make the body be a vehicle for our goal. What is our goal? What do we want to do in life? And so if the body, you give him a bite, you give him something, you know? So if you know that you're going to go on a trip, the person was really tired. Now you're telling the person she's going on a trip. Guess what? The eyes will wake up like that and she'll be all full of energy. She may not sleep all night. She will be so excited. So again, it's almost we need to have a goal strong. Then the body will move for that. It will go, all right, I'm your friend. I'll be there. So if you want your body to be strong, give yourself a goal. Give yourself something that you're going to keep narrow. And that will be a real aspect. But keep your thumb also 45-degree angle. Don't, because that's your first chakra. Your fingers are your 5 element. They represent your 5 first chakra. So just by looking how you place them, you will see how your chakra are working. Is it fun? So just place your hand proper and see, are they all open or they're shy? So if the first one is closed in, that's mean your first chakra is not solid. So the person is very insecure or look for safety and could be afraid, you know? And that's hard, that's tough. Sometimes you'll see beautiful actress and star, and they walk on the red carpet and their hands are like that. So they're afraid. They don't feel too comfortable, even though they're beautiful. I used to see those models. They would come and see me, and they were gorgeous, but they didn't like themselves. And the lifeline was so restless because that mount here is Venus, and that's the body. And that's the only thing we see. And that's we compare with people. Oh, they're taller, they're nicer, they're younger, and always somebody is different than us. But when we don't see that, and we connect to a higher energy, then we're all connected. You know that.
Yeah, well, with I think you touched on a really good thing about motivating the body and finding a worthy goal, and then also touching on a lot of people feeling anxiety, depression, or feeling lost. And so if that's where people are at this time, and I imagine when people come to see you, they would ask a lot of the same questions. I think there would be a lot about partners. A lot would be, what's my meaning in life? I'm sure you would get that one a lot. So I'm wondering some of the common questions you get, if there's another one or two you want to add in there, and then how do you guide them from that point? Because as you said a couple of times, that it's not about the prediction. It's about, I wrote it down, the path. It's not about the prediction. It's about realizing your potential. Yeah. Right. And so let's say someone's coming to you and they are unfulfilled and they're feeling anxious. They don't know what goal they want to be motivated. What are some of the things that you'd recommend they do to start uncovering that so they can find it themselves? Like, what are some of the steps that they could take?
Yeah. And you see, when they come to see us, usually it's because they try so many things and they were not satisfied at all. So now they're really in big need for a solution, guarantee. Well, one thing always, like my teacher always say, it's we cannot find a quick fix. Do we want a quick fix, a Band-Aid, or we want to go deeper? So for me, I will always ask that, because a quick fix, hey, maybe you'll be happier for maybe 6 months, but after you'll come back. So, but when we want to go deeper and we want to understand why I'm so having full of anxiety, it's because it could be for different reasons. Maybe, if in the hand we have too many lines all over. So a lot of duality, a lot of nervousness is there. And but maybe the person is nervous because they don't know their talent. And maybe they do have talent. Maybe they have a talent of communication they don't know about. Or maybe they have a talent of coordination, but they are too afraid. What is the boss going to think if they try to pull that themselves? So what we see, for sure, we see the age the person is at. But at the same time, so we can look and hold the hand and see, okay, what's the challenge? maybe an interference on the destiny or the union line going down or whatever. But that is the cookie in a way, or the excuse to go deeper. And mainly, Matt, I promise you, people want to go deep and they look for the truth because they want to fix the problem. They don't want to repeat the same mistake all the time. So, hey, and that's why, again, we created those challenges to help, to say to the person, come on, you want to fix your lifeline? Well, do the challenge of the lifeline. You will learn a lot about it. And you'll change your habit guarantee who make you sick at the first place. So for sure, but again, you see, when people see us, they want to change their circumstance. Oh, I'm not happy, so let's change the husband or the job or the city, or I change my look, then I'll feel better. No. We have to go deeper, because not the circumstance. We have to change our habit. We have to change our character trait. We have to change how we think. But how we think, it's based on how we breathe, how we perceive things. So we have to go there, and then we're going to make a big shift on our destiny and change that. So, and all of that we see in the hand again. So for sure, if the person come and they're nervous, but maybe they're nervous because they don't want to be with their husband, but they are, or they feel they don't understand him. Many times our nervousness can be real or can be imagination. So what is real and what is imagination? So we can see that in the hand. But if, let's say, it's real, it's a real nervousness, it's a real a terrible thing, but then what is my lesson to learn in that, I have a guy, and the guy, one of the girl accused him of sexual harassment, and he's supposed to lose his job, and he's a good guy, he didn't do a thing. She wants his job. And when he came to see me, he said, Guylaine, I'm so mad at her. Now, that's his lesson, to not be so upset. It's hard. It's totally hard. But his heartline was short. So he needed to learn compassion. Now, this is the time. Huh? He got the job. He got the test right in his lap. God is so economic. He knows, and he brings stuff for us that we can change. I promise. So it's almost, we have to see it. And he goes, what? I have to have compassion for her. And he did. He didn't punch her, thank God. And the truth came out. And he kept the job. She lost it. And he feels sad for her today. So when we understand what are we learning from that, then it's better, So it's like you don't have a PhD for this. You don't go to school to know, hey, how I'm going to fix my problem. Gandhi didn't go to school to liberate India. I mean, that's not a job you can do. It just come at him because he was strong in his 90 pounds little body. Oh boy, he was made of steel. Same when I met Mother Teresa. Oh, it was such an image. She was so powerful, that little body, because she was short, but strong like a tree, like a real rooted heart in goodness. And I find, wow, when you go there is because life brings us tests to deep ourselves. And that's what I find a lot amazing.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's, hold on, I'm taking a note. I got to take this note so I remember it, because I liked having the notes in the end. And then I can chat about. But I was writing out why life brings us tests, and the question of what am I learning. And the example you shared is really powerful, because that scenario is so frustrating. I was just imagining being that person, somebody lying to take your job, and you're being accused of something that's going to deface your character. It's awful in every sense of the word. And if you go at it from the example, what am I learning? And you have the ability and the strength to somehow allow it, and not allow it, but to go through it in some sort of, I don't even know what to put it. It's like, it's something stupid. Sometimes like I'll lose my keys and I'll try not to freak out. And I know that when I'm feeling that stress, I have an opportunity. It's a stupid thing, but I can either stress out and be super pissed, or I can let it go. Or sometimes I lose something more valuable, my phone, or I think something got taken, or whatever the case is. If I can just let it go, it's like something will happen and it'll work out. And that energy, like an hour later or 2 hours later or a day later, your life is still moving on. And I think that our tests will get a little bit more challenging. And if we're able to look at, what am I learning here? What is the lesson in this challenge? How can I go with this, through this with a level of grace? You might do it terribly, and that's okay. You might do it kicking and screaming and shouting. But there is an opportunity to do it with less of that. There is a sense of acceptance, or whatever the case is. But if you're able to do that, usually I find from the people that I've talked to and in my own life that something will happen where they'll transform. Either something better will show up. Maybe he lost his job, then he gets a better job. In this case, the universe worked out and justice was served. But I think that either way, he's going to go through that. And the more he's able to do it with a level of grace and humility and compassion and empathy and what am I learning and looking for that, it's going to allow him to evolve from that lesson to a new lesson. And as I understand it, I don't know for sure, but apparently the lessons just get bigger and bigger. And so your ability to have compassion for oneself and other grows. And there's a lot of stories, like the one that I think her name is Immaculate. I keep getting it wrong, but it's the girl that who I'm talking about.
In Rwanda, who survived the genocide. And she forgive.
It's Immaculate.
Amazing
right?
story. Yep, I met her. She's beautiful.
Oh, you did? Wow, So her story, maybe you can share it, but she was in Rwanda, right? And all her family got murdered, and she was hiding in a bathtub in a house with maybe 9 other people.
8 people in a tiny bathroom for 3 months.
Everybody was getting slaughtered. Her friends, her family, everyone she loved was literally getting massacred with a freaking machete. And somewhere in there, as she was experiencing all of these emotions, she came to an emotion of forgiveness, of genuine forgiveness. Now, I don't think she thought her way there. I think it seems to be like some sort of grace of spirit or something. But when you listen to her speak, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. You know why she did it? Because she said the anger she felt was eating her up. So she needed to forgive, to be free in her heart. And she went to the jail to forgive one of the killer who killed pretty much some of his friends. And that guy was the neighbor who wanted the tractor of the family. Imagine. I mean, it's so bad. It's so unjust and so cruel. But she forgave him. And today she's beautiful and she speaks to people to forgive. And again, we can forgive a big drama like that, but on everyday level, we have to forgive for little things. Forgive ourselves. Because you know what I realized, Matt? It's like we're gonna live and die with our consciousness. And that's all we're gonna bring with us, not the amount of money in the bank or the car or how many likes we have on Facebook. That will not come. What will come is our consciousness. So when we know we try our best, we did our best, and that consciousness is clear, that's what we have to do. We have to clean it up because we have so many karma, so many life that we did so many things. And sometimes we don't know. We don't know why a person is doing bad stuff to us. And but it's a chance, like you said, to be stronger, to be more empowerment. And I so believe in that because I did it myself. I mean, just to choose a profession like palmistry, when I came from film industry and cinema, I mean, come on. It was a big test on my ego with all my friends, with the family. But it's a test to go, are you able? And do you love it enough? And see why it's working, because I love it. The day I won't love palmistry, I'll change. job. But you know why I love it? Because it forced me to change all the time. So Immaculée was forced to change. You are forced to change. So everyone in this planet, because hey, we will live in a world of duality, and that world of duality will always hurt us or disappoint us. So we need to find that joy in us. And oh boy, it's a workout. And it's an everyday workout to be happy. Guarantee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's definitely not easy. And the only way that I can even relate to that is just growing up being a martial artist. And even now today, when somebody is just not a good human and they deserve to be whacked, but you can't whack them. And it's not even going to help if you whack them, you know, there can be it's okay to stand up for yourself for sure. And it's okay to point out, you know, what is wrong and stand in your own justice and certainty. You can do that. And there's going to be times where you're just tested and, you know, that human being or that outside source is going through their own thing. You're just experiencing that. So if you're experiencing it, it's your opportunity. You got to kind of transform it, move through it, deal with it as gracefully as you can, asking what are the lessons? What am I learning here? What can I do? How can I get through this a little bit more beautifully? And I can say that for myself, I've gone through a lot of things that are, you know, not even that challenging. And I went through them terribly and not gracefully at all. But if you can get through and you can learn and then you can look back, you can do it a little bit better next time. So practice being easy on yourself and moving through. The one thing I wanted to make sure that I asked you before we wrap up is, in going through the course, one of the headings that kind of interested me, and I'm wondering if you can speak on it a little bit, but it talked about the 5 states of the human heart, letting our love evolve. So I'm wondering if you could share a little bit of that before.
Oh yeah, that's so neat again, and it's a philosophy who came from Sri Yukteswar, who is the guru of Paramahansa Yogananda, who is our master. We all do a Kriya Yoga, and so this 5 stage of the heart, it's so amazing because every human being will go through that. So the first stage is the dark heart, and well, that's when we feel sad or mad or upset, all these emotions who keep you in the dark, and that is like just no light can come up in that, and then you just feel like a victim and you just feel very hard. But then the second stage is the propel heart. And that one I love because that's mean you're enough of suffering. Now you're searching for a teacher, for a tool, or for a guide, or for answer, you know. And so you scream to the universe and you go, hey, help me out here. It's not working. So the propel heart means you had been into the hole and now you're asking for help. And promise in that stage, God answer. He really does. Things come, friend come, help is there. And then the third stage is when the heart is steady. Now, this is where we want to go because a steady heart means you're loyal, you're steady, you put the anchor of your conviction in your heart, and in that steadiness, it's like you're ready to die for your friend, you're ready to do things, and in that, it gives you tremendous courage. Courage to defend, courage to be good, courage to stand for your belief. Because many times we don't. Because, hey, when things are tough, but in that third stage, you do that. And because of that, then you go to the fourth with a devoted heart. So there, you always feel what other people feel. You're in their shoes. So then you become like the healer. You become like, what's his name? Edgar Cayce, who was a little Pisces like you. Now that's your new chart. So in that stage, you just do good for other people. And then, hey, it doesn't take too long that you become pure heart. And in a pure heart, no meanness, no negativity exists. Then you just see the light. Nobody is separated. That's why Ramakrishna was able to go on stage and say to people, hello, myself. So in front of thousands of people. So he's all connected to everybody. So in that pure heart, we're all one. Is it neat? I love that.
That's beautiful. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your work and your passion and your enthusiasm. I love it. It's infectious. Before we close out, I want to ask you, is there anything that you wish that I had asked you and you want to talk about? Feel free to embellish or share. And also,
how can people find about us? Where they can meet us? Where they can get the talent? And hey, I want to see your hand change, Matt. I want to see even the best of you. I know you're there, but more will come. Yeah,
I appreciate that. So where can people find you? Birla Center?
BirlaCenter.ca.
Okay.
And Birla.ca, not even center, sorry. And on Facebook at the Birla Center or Vedic Birla or Guylaine Vallée, they will find us. And yeah, and they can really have fun with us and know about themselves. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I did want to sneak in one last question. What's the one thing that you want people to know or understand about palmistry, Vedic palmistry, and astrology?
That they are the master of their own destiny. Yes. Money. And they can change anything they want to. Yeah.
I'm so glad I snuck that in there. That's an awesome answer. The master of your own destiny. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you. I invite people go ahead. Yeah.
And one more thing, on our Birla site, if they look for the challenge, it's under self-development program.
Yeah, and I invite people to check that out because it's very in depth. You put a lot of work in there, and that's what the sign is that there are no quick fixes, and I'm not a fan of the predictions. And that's when I say, in this world of astrology and palmistry and tarot, and there's so many different avenues. Some of them I feel have more merit than others. However, when they're used with the intention as a gateway to personal development for the invitation to explore oneself, it's fun and it's interesting how many are accurate. And even with the tarot, it works on the archetypes, and you're always gonna have to be dealing with that archetype at some time, and you get an opportunity to reflect and converse with somebody else who ideally has your best interests at heart. And that's one thing that I can sense about you and your interviews and what you do. You have people's best interests at heart. So thanks for the work you're doing and being a positive influence and coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Matt. It was a real pleasure and joy to meet you. Really. Continue the good work.
Thanks. Will do. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching. Peace.